Good morning. Welcome back to yet another section of Signatures Expressing the Self. When we started the second module, we went through speeches and testimonies in detail. The first two chapters in this second module are speeches. So let us revise once again what is testimony. Testimony refers to the affirmation for proving a fact. In the context of law, it may be written or oral form. In the field of literature, the idea of testimony is significant while expressing the experiences of trauma. Testimonies in the field of literature refer to the accounts of personal experiences of important historical traumatic events. In this section, we have two testimonies. One is an excerpt from the book Voices from Chernobyl, the oral history of a nuclear disaster written by Svetlana Alexievich. And the other is a poem titled Breaking the Silence by Janis Mirikidani. These are the two testimonies in this second module. Okay, so today we are going to start the third chapter in second module. The third chapter is a solitary human voice excerpt from Voices from Chernobyl, the oral history of a nuclear disaster written by Svetlana Alexievich. So, let us speak about Svetlana Alexievich. Have you heard about Svetlana Alexievich? Okay, then we can go to Svetlana Alexievich. Svetlana Alexievich was born in Ivano-Frankivsk, Ukraine in 1948 and has spent most of her life in the Soviet Union and present day Belarus with prolonged periods of exile in Western Europe. Starting out as a journalist, she developed her own non-fiction genre which gathers a chorus of voices to describe a specific historical moment. During her career in journalism, she specialized in crafting narratives based on witness testimonies. She is Belarusian investigative journalist, essayist and oral historian who writes in Russian. Her works include Words, Unwomanly Face, Last Witnesses, Singy Boys, Voices from Chernobyl, the oral history of a nuclear disaster, and Second Hand Time. She has won many international awards, including the 2015 Nobel Prize in Literature for her polyphonic writings, A Moment to Suffering and Courage in Our Time. So I think all of you got the clear idea about our author Svetlana Alexievich. Svetlana Alexievich is a Belarusian investigative journalist, essayist and oral historian who writes in Russian. Okay. We also discussed her important works. Then I already told you during her career in journalism, she specialized in crafting narratives based on witness testimonies. So there is no need to repeat. We are going to study one of her testimonies through our second module. Okay. Then in addition that, the important point relating Svetlana Alexievich, she won many international awards including the 2015 Nobel Prize in Literature for her polyconic writings, a monument to suffering and courage in our time. So it is very important. So definitely you should go through these points thoroughly. You should have a clear idea about our writer Svetlana Alexievich. Okay, then we are going to an outline of the chapter. I think all of you remembered well the title of our chapter. It is A Solitary Human Voice Except from Voices from Chernobyl, the Oral History of a Nuclear Disaster. So through this particular chapter, we can see the sufferings and pain of a newly wedded couple. Okay, so we are going to an outline of the chapter. So the book Voices from Chernobyl, the Oral History of a Nuclear Disaster, is one of the early works that have recorded the personal testimonies of the victims of the tragedy. So actually it is the oral history of a nuclear works, and it has recorded the personal testimonies of the victims of the tragedy. We already knew that Svetlana Alexievich, she is a investigative journalist. So she met the victims in this nuclear disaster, and she collected the details and she recorded it as a testimony. Okay, journalist and writer Svetlana Alexievich interviewed hundreds of victims of the disaster and documented the personal accounts of the incident and their life after the tragic nuclear explosion. So we can see that she already interviewed more than 100 of the victims of the disaster, and after that she documented the personal accounts of the incident and their life after the tragic nuclear explosion. So the interviews captured mainly the voices of the ordinary people who had experienced and suffered the tragic event. So through this book we can see that she interviewed the ordinary people. She gave importance to the ordinary people who had experienced and suffered the tragic event. Written in the form of monologues, these narratives registered the intensity of the trauma that the survivors had to endure throughout their life. So when we go through this testimony, definitely we can understand it is a form of monologue, and these narratives registered the intensity of the trauma that the survivors had to endure throughout their life. So we will feel their sufferings and pain relating this nuclear disaster. So the subjective narration gives authenticity to the emotions of fear, anger and insecurity that is associated with the trauma of the event. So definitely when we are reading this particular testimony, we can feel the fear, anger and insecurity of the victims in this nuclear disaster. The book documented in detail the personal stories of the victims from a broad range of backgrounds. The stories of the wife of the fireman, employees working in the reactor, people of the town doctors and rescue teams who later succumbed to death are some of them. So when we are going through this particular book, definitely we will get the clear picture of the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. Especially she is focusing the life of a fireman, the fireman employees working in the reactor, and also the people of the town doctors, then rescue teams in detail. So all of you please take the page number 71 in your textbook. So I think all of you are ready with the page number 71. I think there is no need to repeat the details about our author Svetlana Alexievich. You just go through that paragraph. Then we can start the textbook from page number 71. Okay, the second paragraph. On April 26, 1986, the worst nuclear reactor accident in history occurred in Chernobyl and contaminated as much as 3/4 of Europe. Contaminated means make dangerous. Contaminated make dangerous. So the worst nuclear reactor accident in Chernobyl occurred on April 26, 1986. So you don't forget the date. This worst nuclear reactor, it was occurred on April 26, 1986. Okay. Then Voices from Chernobyl is the first book to present personal accounts of the tragedy. So I told you the worst nuclear reactor accident in Chernobyl occurred on April 26, 1986. It contaminated as much as 3/4 of Europe. It already made dangerous as much as the 3/4 of Europe due to this nuclear disaster. Then Voices from Chernobyl is the first book to present personal accounts of the tragedy. So Voices from Chernobyl is the first book to present personal accounts of the tragedy. Then journalist Svetlana Alexievich interviewed hundreds of people affected by the meltdown, from innocent citizens to firefighters to those called in to clean up the disaster, and their stories reveal the fear, anger and uncertainty with which they still live. Then, okay, I told you Svetlana Alexievich, she interviewed hundreds of victims relating this nuclear disaster, and the people affected by the meltdown, from innocent citizens to firefighters to those called in to clean up the disaster. So here through this book she is speaking about the innocent people who are the victims of nuclear disasters, and even the innocent citizens and also the firefighters to those called to clean up the disaster, because they got the responsibility to clean up the disaster. So that is why she is speaking about the ordinary people, the innocent people, and also the firefighters to those called in to clean up the disaster. Okay. Then meltdown here means reactor meets and releases radiation. Meltdown here means reactor meets and releases radiation. Okay. Okay. Then definitely when we are going through these stories, the stories of these innocent people and also the firefighters, we will feel the fear, anger and uncertainty with which they still live. It means still they are under the fear, anger and uncertainty relating their life. They are not completely free from this nuclear disaster. Still they are the victims. They have the fear, anger and uncertainty throughout their life. Comprised of interviews in monologue form, Voices from Chernobyl is a crucially important work, unforgettable in its emotional power and honesty. So definitely this is a monologue. I told you she interviewed more than 100 ordinary people, including the doctors, firefighters, the people who got the responsibility to clean up the city, okay, clean up the disaster. So definitely it is a monologue, and it is very important work. Why it is very important? Because definitely when we are going through this work, definitely we can't forget it. Then that is why it is an unforgettable in its emotional power and honesty, because there is no need to search for the truth in this work, because all the innocent people, they are very emotional, and they are speaking the truth, they are speaking their real life, they are speaking their fear, anger and uncertainty throughout their life. So definitely it is an unforgettable in its emotional power and honesty. That is why it becomes unforgettable. Why? Because of its emotional power and honesty. When we are going through the words of these victims, definitely we will feel the emotional power and honesty. That is why this work is very important, and also it is an unforgettable work of Svetlana Alexievich. It is a testimony. The different perspectives of those Svetlana Alexievich listed to come through as heart-rending stories. Heart-rending means causing sadness, okay, causing a real sadness. So definitely it is a monologue. It is an unforgettable work, and because it gives an emotional power, and it is very honest work, and she interviewed the ordinary people, the life of the victims. They already shared their fear, anger and uncertainty throughout their life. That is why I repeat again, this work is monologue. It is an unforgettable in its emotional power and honesty. Then at the same time, it also includes heart-rending stories. One of the speakers concludes, "You can write the rest of this yourself. I don't want to talk anymore." And even she quoted this line from the victim. I don't know, did you listen me carefully? That is why I repeat, I don't want to talk anymore. You can write the rest of this yourself. I don't want to talk anymore. That means the victim, the particular person, is not all ready to continue about the disaster, because it is not possible. She or he became mentally broken when she just recollected the memories relating that nuclear disaster. That is why she or he says, "I don't want to talk anymore. You please fill the rest of the sentences." The author allows the words of those who lived and many who still live in the affected areas to tell their own story. So here I told you it is an unforgettable work because its emotional power and honesty. More than that, essay investigative journalist Svetlana Alexievich gave the freedom to tell their own story. And she already included the stories of the people who died and the people who still alive after the nuclear disaster. Okay, it is a catalog of trauma of lives which were disturbed by events so cataclysmic that the effects rippled around the whole planet. Okay, I think if you know the meaning of trauma, trauma means unpleasant experiences. Trauma means unpleasant experiences. Okay, then the next line, cataclysmic. Cataclysmic means that causes someone to have emotional problems. Okay, I repeat, cataclysmic means that causes someone to have emotional problems. Okay, so I repeat that line. The author allows the words of those who lived and many who still live in the affected areas to tell their own story. It is a catalogue of trauma of lives which were disturbed by events so cataclysmic that the effects rippled around the whole planet. Ripple means spread. Okay, so definitely it is a catalog of trauma. It is a group of similar things relating unpleasant experiences and all these stories were disturbed by events and it also cataclysmic that effects rippled around the whole planet. Okay, then we can move to the next paragraph in the page number 72. Voices from Chernobyl begins with a brief account of the effects of Belarusia where 2 million people live on contaminated land, but otherwise presents the human side of the tragedy. Then when we are speaking about the whole book, not the particular chapter, I told you it is an excerpt from the voices from Chernobyl. Okay, so when we are speaking about that particular book in general, we can see that it begins with a brief account of Belarusia, where 2 million people, can you imagine, where 2 million people live on contaminated land, but otherwise presents the human side of the tragedy. It is an oral history offering first-hand accounts from those involved with or affected by the disaster. So, we already found it in detail. It is an oral history. This work is an oral history because she is an investigated journalist. She interviewed more than 100 victims. So, it is an oral history. Then, it is offering first-hand accounts from those involved with or affected by the disaster directly. Okay. We already talked about it because she is interviewed the common people, the ordinary people who are the victims in this nuclear disaster. So, the longest piece in nearly 20 pages, but most are much shorter and there are some choruses in just a paragraph or two from each individual. When we are when we go through the book in detail, we can see that the longest piece is nearly 20 pages. Rest of the experiences of the victims she included within just a paragraph or 2 paragraphs. Okay, this allows a broad range of voices to be heard. The wife of a first response fireman who took several weeks to die from radiation poisoning self-settlers who stayed behind or returned to the contaminated zone, Russian refugees from Tajikistan who preferred the risks of radiation to those of young men with guns. Then conscript soldiers sent in to forcibly evacuate people or to work as liquidators, ploughing under crops, trees, topsoil and houses, hunters employed to kill abandoned cats and dogs, helicopter pilots and unprotected men on foot who cleared the roof of the reactor after robots failed to work in the intense radiation, children with birth defects, those who used contaminated food and equipment or recycled it onto the black market, scientists and health workers who tried to alert people to the risks of radiation, officials and bureaucrats who spoke out, and those who towed the line. Okay, so when we go through this particular work, the voices from Chernobyl, we will get the details of all these victims. Who are they? Okay, the first she is speaking about the wife of a first response fireman who took several weeks to die from radiation poisoning. Through this particular chapter, through the third chapter in this second module, we are going to speak about that wife. Okay, so when we start the story, I will speak about her in detail. Okay, then we can see that she Svetlana Alexievich, she also shared the experiences of the Russian refugees, Russian refugees from Tajikistan, and those people actually they took the risk of radiation to those of young men with guns. Then conscript soldiers. Conscript soldiers means a person who is forced to serve in armed forces. A person who is forced to serve in armed forces. So, in addition that wife, she also spoke about the Russian refugees from Tajikistan, and they also preferred the risks of radiation to those of young men with guns. Conscript soldiers they were forcibly sent to evacuate people or to work, and the people, then next she is speaking about the people who worked as a liquidators, ploughing under crops, trees, topsoil and houses, then hunters employed to kill abandoned cats and dogs, and helicopter pilots and unprotected men on foot who cleared the roof of the reactor after robots failed to work in the intense radiation. So we can see that she is starting her work, Voices from Chernobyl, by the story of a wife of a first response fireman. Then after that she spoke about refugees, Russian refugees from Tajikistan, Russian refugees from Tajikistan, those people actually who preferred the risks of radiation to those of young men with guns. Then the conscript soldiers. Then she is speaking about the liquidators. Liquidators means the officer who is specially appointed to wind the affairs of a company. I repeat, liquidators means an officer who is specially appointed to wind the affairs of a company. Okay. So she is speaking about I told you the wife of a first response fireman who took several weeks to die from radiation poisoning. Then the Russian refugees from Tajikistan and their risks of radiation to those young men with guns, then conscript soldiers. Then she spoke about the liquidators. I told you liquidators means an officer who is specially appointed to wind the affairs of a company. Then she speaks about liquidators ploughing under crops, trees, topsoil and houses. Then she also mentions about hunters employed to kill abandoned cats and dogs. After that, she speaks about helicopter pilots and unprotected men on foot who cleared the roof of the reactor after robots failed to work in the intense radiation. Then can you imagine, even robots already failed to clear the failed to work in the intense radiation. Those places we are forced to send the people to clear the disaster. Okay, so she spoke about those people, the men on foot who cleared the roof of the reactor. Then children with birth defects. She also spoke about the children with birth defects, those who used contaminated food and equipment or recycled it onto the black market. After that, she also spoke about the people who used contaminated food and equipment and they used it after recycling it onto the black market. So we can see that a coin has two sides like that. Even such a tragic event, people already misused those things. That is why they used the contaminated food and equipment through the black market. Then she also reported about those people who are active in this black market. Then the scientists, health workers. So she also gives the explanations, the life of the scientists and health workers who try to alert people to the risks of radiation, officials and the bureaucrats who spoke out, and those who towed the line. Towed means touch with your toe. Okay. So we can see that she is not only speaking about the ordinary people, at the same time she is beginning this particular book with the wife of the first response fireman, okay, about their life. Then after that she spoke about the Russian refugees from Tajikistan, then the young man with guns, then conscript soldiers, then liquidators, then hunters employed to kill abandoned cats and dogs, helicopters pilots, then children with birth defects, then the people who are active in black market to sell contaminated food and equipment. Then she also mentions about scientists and health workers. I think all of you got a clear picture about the people who mentioned throughout her book. Okay, then we can move to the next paragraph in the page number 73. Voices from Chernobyl is a powerful work which narrates the personal details of the stories and often touches on the broader themes. Some of the records are of the historians and philosophers themselves, but the more concrete accounts are often the most revealing. I tell you, it's a very powerful work. It is an unforgettable work in its emotional power and honest. Then at the same time, it is a powerful work which narrates the personal details of the stories and often touches on the broader themes. We already discussed the detail. When we go through the life of these victims, we feel fear, anger and uncertainty of those people throughout their life. So some of the records are of the historians and philosophers themselves, but the more concrete accounts are often the most revealing. It is not only a unique exploration of the human human effects of the widespread radioactive contamination, but also offers a view of the final years of the Soviet Union and of life in Byelorussia. So definitely when we go through this particular book, Voices from Chernobyl, we will get the unique exploration of human effects of the widespread radioactive contamination. Definitely we will get the clear picture of the Chernobyl radioactive disaster, but at the same time it will give the chance to view of the final years of the Soviet Union and the life in Byelorussia. So it is very much relevant and should certainly be read in the recent revival of an enthusiasm for nuclear power. At the same time, through this book, we will recognize the enthusiasm, the revival of enthusiasm for nuclear power. Then we can move to the next paragraph. Voices from Chernobyl, which won the National Book Critics Circle Award. And even we already understood she won the Nobel Prize in Literature for her polyphonic writings, a monument to suffering and courage in our time. And for this particular book, Voices from Chernobyl, this book won the National Book Critics Circle Award. Underline that point. It is a compilation of interviews with the survivors of the nuclear reactor accident. Compilation means gathering things together. We already understood she interviewed more than hundreds of victims in this nuclear disaster. So this book won the National Book Critics Circle Award, and it is a compilation of interviews with survivors of the nuclear reactor accident. The book begins and ends with the testimony of two widows. Actually, we already talked about how the book starts. I think if you remembered well, a wife of the first response fireman. So this book is starting from the experiences and the memories of a wife of a first response fireman. At the same time, this particular book ends with the testimony of another widow. Okay, so that is why the book begins and ends with the testimony of two widows. One, the young wife of a Pripyat firefighter who went at night to fight the blaze in his shirt sleeves. That is the first wife. I told you this particular book starts with the memories and experience of a wife of first response fireman. Okay, so that young wife of a Pripyat firefighter who went at night to fight the blaze in his shirt sleeves. The other widow, she is the wife of a liquidator. I think all of you remembered well what it is the meaning of liquidator. Liquidator ploughing under crops, trees, topsoil and houses. She also spoke about the liquidators in detail. So this particular book ends with the testimony of the widow of a liquidator, one of the 6 lakhs men drafted in to bury the topsoil and shoot every animal in the zone. Actually, that liquidator, the person who is forced to draft more than 6 lakhs men into bury the topsoil, and also she is forced to shoot every animal in the zone. So this particular work she ends with the wife of a liquidator. Okay, he is the last in his platoon to die. And even the another important thing, that liquidator, he is the last in his platoon to die. Platoon means a group of people who are going to something together, who are going something together. Okay, group of people who are going to do something together, that is platoon. Okay, so he was the last in his platoon to die. So she is Svetlana Alexievich. She concludes his work Voices from Chernobyl by adding the life and the experience of the wife of liquidator, who is the last platoon to die. Okay. The selection made here is an edited version of an excerpt from Voices from Chernobyl by Svetlana Alexievich, translated by Keith Gessen. Underline that point. I told you actually this particular chapter, the third chapter in this second module, it is an edited version of Svetlana Alexievich work Voices from Chernobyl. We already understood she wrote in Russian language. So it is the edited version of her book Voices from Chernobyl. This particular work is translated by Keith Gessen. Okay. It begins with the story of the young pregnant wife, one of the first firefighters who responded to the fire at reactor 4 of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, and of his slow, untimely death. The voice recorded here is that of Lyudmila Ignatko, wife of the deceased fireman Vasily Ignatko. So I already told you this book, Svetlana Alexievich's work, Voices from Chernobyl, starts and ends with the testimonies of 2 widows. So here this third chapter is the details of the first widow. Okay, then have you remembered? She is the wife of the first response firefighter. Okay, so then more than that, she is a pregnant wife. Then that firefighter who responded to the fire at reactor 4 of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, and it was very slow death. He took time to die. Okay, then so the voice recorded here is that Lyudmila Ignatko, that it is her name, no? Lyudmila Ignatko. She is the wife of the first fireman who responded to the nuclear disaster. The first fireman, he is Vasily Ignatko. Okay, so I think all of you got the clear picture of our author Svetlana Alexievich. Who is Svetlana Alexievich? Yes, she is a investigative journalist, then essayist and oral historian who writes in Russian. Okay, she is a investigative journalist, essayist, oral historian who writes in Russian. During her career in journalism, she specialized in crafting narratives based on the writer's the witness testimonies. More than that, she won the Nobel Prize in Literature for her polyphonic writings, a monument to sufferings and courage in our time. Then we went through her famous work. What is the work? Yes, Voices from Chernobyl. Then it is relating the worst nuclear reactor accident. It occupied on April 26, 1986. You don't forget the year. Okay. Then I told you it is the first book to present personal accounts of the tragedy. It is very unforgettable in its emotional power and honesty. Then I told you through this work we can get the clear picture of the ordinary people who are the victims of nuclear disaster. So all of you please go through the textbook well. We just go through the introduction, we just go through the Svetlana Alexievich in detail, and we also went through the outline of the work Voices from Chernobyl. Okay, thank you.